Okay, response to Phil 07, take 2, part 2. So anyway, we're talking about the morals of atheists, morals of Christians, and I acknowledge that there is a little bit of a fallacy in this argument, but just to say that atheists have morals too, and that there is evidence to say that atheists do have morals. I just want to bring to your attention this book. Unfortunately, I've read it, and you can see this symbology in this book. This was written by a Christian apologist and is directed towards Christians who are sort of losing their faith. And you can see the symbology with the source of light up here at the top, sort of out of view, the large typescript in search of certainty with the water in the background by John Guest. And I read through most of this. Answers to doubt when values are eroding and unbelief is fashionable. Okay, and he sort of talks about morality and what atheism could do to morality. In his view, is everything goes. You get rid of God, and we lack morals, and the excuse to commit sin and evil and adultery and murder and live a very low moral life is to deny God and say, to hell with that, I don't need that, I'm just going to do what feels good. That's to me is sad view of the world, to say that anyone who does not believe in God is doing so in order to justify poor morals, and it's not true. And there's evidence, as I presented before, to say that's not true. So that's what I wanted to discuss about morals. And morals are interesting to me. I like studying about morals. Look at famous people in the past, such as Thomas Jefferson, a deist, who studied morals and studied the morals of Jesus. And of course, Christian evangelists often point to that and say, well, see, look, the founding fathers were devout Christians. Well, no, not necessarily true. Okay, next question. Okay, let's see. All right, question number 4. First, I want to bring up a point about question number 4, is that you have a premise in this that there is a goal to evolution. Evolution is not a goal. Okay, evolution is not a philosophy. It is not a spiritual belief. It is not a substitute for religion, although it could be. Okay, evolution is a series of observations in scientific theory that Christians often look at, and they don't like it because they believe that it contradicts their religious beliefs that they are so devout about. It doesn't contradict many other Christian religious beliefs, but some people look at it and say that it does. And then we get into the slippery slope, and we end up with I don't want to get into intelligent design in public schools, but it is an important and unfortunate thing that intelligent design has become a battleground in the public school system with children in America. I think it's very unfortunate, and I don't know why intelligent design gets to skip all the hoops that every other scientific theory has to go through. Intelligent design is not a scientific theory. It's a street theory. It's an idea that the Christian right came up with, and everybody knows that, in order to put religion in school. Evolution does not contradict Christianity, in my humble opinion. But I'll just go on to say that evolution is not, it's an observation of science. It is not something that says that there is a goal. It is not something that says that society evolves into the survival of whoever is the fittest person and genetics in that way. It is simply observations of how species evolved. So you asked the question about how morals evolved, and to say there's a moral evolution. I haven't heard that before, but it can be studied with genetics, possibly. It can be studied with anthropology, with sociology. You look at geographic areas in the world, even today, there are varying morals among various populations and groups of people. Morals do come from religion, but morals are accepted in secular society. So I want to pose a question to you in that, in morals, okay? So why do Christians choose some parts of the Bible to promote, and other parts they say, well, that's no longer valid? And generally what they'll do is they'll say, well, yes, the Old Testament and New Testament spoke about slavery. The Old Testament and New Testament talk about killing non-believers. There is a passage that Jesus said to kill all non-believers before me, but we don't really believe that because Jesus also talked about love and said that all you have to do is believe and have faith, and whoever has not committed any sin, be the first to throw the stone. So, but it's really, Christians look at different verses and contradictions, and they pick and choose which ones to believe, which ones to emphasize. The most horrible sin and what should be executed is somebody who's a homosexual, but somebody who's a liar and adulterer, well, they can be forgiven. Slavery, stoning someone to death. These are all passages that are conveniently ignored in the Bible, a number of them. And if it's true that morality comes from Christianity and that Christianity is necessary for morality, then why not everything that's in the Bible? Why just some of the pick and choose what is good for today, or what is good in the opinion of religious leadership? Question 5. Question 5 is a circular argument. And you ask, can complex organisms evolve in nature? I'm going to answer yes. Okay, and I'm going to come back with a question to you. You also ask, is it repeatable by chance? So I'm going to ask you, who created God? With the assumption that God is more complex than his creation. So if it's true that creation must have come from an intelligent organism, an intelligent being, a God who is far more advanced than the creation that he created, then where did God come from? So if someone created the earth because it's so magnificent and complex, and humans are so magnificent and complex and beautiful and amazing in morality, then it was created by something much more so than that, being God. So if God created that, then what created God? Well, something that's much more complex than God, and what created that? You see, humans always are going to ask, and we always ask, what happened before? Where did this come from? And we ask questions. It's our nature to discover. It's our nature to ask questions and be inquisitive and skeptical. And people want to know with certainty what the truth is. Well, if there's no time before creation, then how can there be any before creation? You see? So there is a fallacy in the everything came from something and therefore God argument. I don't look at something that's beautiful, a sunset and so forth, and say, this is beautiful.